Good evening, everybody. So let's begin reading the spiritual facts. And the spiritual facts in that's a life at its best. So we started reading the life at its best with some background understanding of the God, background understanding about the realization of God, and understanding that what is the difference between the human conscious and the God consciousness. So let's begin. Yesterday I was reading about the real gift. What is the real gift and what is not the real gift, and how the real gift can be given once and then forgetting on time. So real gifts can be given and forgotten. That is also here in this case the forgetfulness is only for the the creator who creates the entire universe, and he creates the human, and he forget, the way he forget that there is no way that we can give back him whatever the God he's given us. So the forgetfulness is totally on the spiritual basis. So the next topic is God is eternal existence. So the eternal meaning, God is always, like, he is occupied the entire universe, as well as he is the God. It is completely, it is permanently, is always there. Is God is always. So eternal existence means even human born and die, born and die, there are several births and deaths, but the God still exists. So that is the background about the God is eternal existence. So what is that means here? The philosophers, atheists, and other may affirm or refute to existence of God, but as long as they do not deny the very existence of their own being, they continue to satisfy to their belief in God. So normal people also believe in God, but in this case, the philosophers also they refute, and atheists who don't believe in God also they start believing, because as long as they do not deny the very existence of their own beings, right? So if they deny God, so the atheist or philosophers, how they exist, like, their self-existence. So in this case, the self-existence is cannot be denied. Okay, I am here, I am human, I'm a doctor, I'm a philosopher, I'm a doctor, I'm a guru, I'm an engineer, I am this, I am that, whatever you are saying that your existence, that I am present. How did you born? So that they had a lot of logics behind, and they were, even the philosophers, they may justify with the science justification, but they cannot explore that iota, the atom of iota, what is called the beginning of the human body. Every seed, like, it is the beginning of the seed, what you call seed. The seed has a tree, no one can believe that, right? So the belief is totally invisible, it is completely packed in that. So that is again your existence is real, then they they deny, if they deny their existence, that still they have belief in God. Something is powerful which is manifested on the planet Earth. So it is the entire universe, but however, this particular what is called the existence of God is again manifested. So based on that, deny the very existence of their own being, they continue to satisfy to own their own being and belief in God. For I tell you with divine authority. So here Meher Baba is phrasing with his divine authority only, the perfect masters and the ancient one, the highest of the high, and who is the path of the God itself, can make this statement. That is called, I tell you with divine authority that God is existence, eternal and infinite. Infinite, okay? So that means it is countless, like infinite. He is everything. So this is Meher Baba said in his own sentence, stating that the God is everything. So how many souls on the planet Earth come as an avatar incarnation, including Jesus, Muhammad, right? So Buddha, everybody, they realize the God and they say the God exists. So they say, but Buddha is rejected some level of understanding. Shankaracharya rejected few things, that in his condition, like what is an iota of the Atma, that is the soul. It is a minute 1,000 of that, again 1/10 of each part of the iota, which is if you divide an iota atom into 1,000 pieces and take the one of them is a 1/10 of pieces and make it, so that is a minute, like it is invisible, absolutely invisible, and the package is made in that way, right? The package is made in that way. So that means everything is already packed in a seed. Seed has a tree. Seed has all sorts of fruits, vegetables, right? So the plants. So one seed, one tree, and it again gives you innumerable things. So the package is in seed. So that is why the existence eternal, infinite. So he made that nobody can modify that. So even an advanced microscope and advanced engineers like a computer, digital level, whatever the level of computer knowledge we have, that cannot be divided into several parts. Like, you cannot explore, what is the minute particle that if you explore, the body itself is again contains everything. So even in that minute, we had our heart present, we had our lungs present, we had our all the involuntary organs which is functioning over and over every day. So that is also present. Even the science knows about it, but who created that? That is why God is existence, eternal, infinite. He is everything. Whether man knows it or not, there is for him only one aim in life, and eventually he realizes this. Even he consciously experiences his own eternal and infinite state of I am God. So in Vedanta also, this teaching is given like I am God, Aham Brahmasmi, in Vedantic language, Aham Brahmasmi. I am Brahma, I am this, that I am God. So Meher Baba is given, if you realize that itself is an eternal and infinite state of I am God, consciously experience his own eternal. So what is eternal here? Permanently, permanent. It is permanent, has kind of the duality, but here the eternal is, there is no second step, like it is always there. So in this eternality, So you have to experience your own self, myself. I am this, I am God, I am that, I am this, like that. However, but I am this, I am that is totally in your opinion. But when you say the eternality of God itself is I am God, so you have to realize once, because all God men, all souls, all human, all the Paramatma, they come in the human form only because they need the media to communicate what and why and who is created this. It is not only think that the God itself is magic. It is not a magic. It is eternal. It is real. It is the one each one of us have to realize, right? So that way, so the God itself is eternal existence. So that is why you have to understand that God is eternal and existence. So okay, um, I don't see people joining here. Let me see what is going on. Right, no participants yet. I have made this publicly available. Anyone can join. Please uh, subscribe my channel. Every day I come and read the truth. Is ever you heard of? Even if this is some people who are Meher Baba lovers, also they may have sort of understanding, but the truth is not to be revealed. Like is not easy to explain, but it is today. I'm going to read those things for you. So join me anytime. When I share my video, you can view and comment it. This is purely spiritual. There is nothing marketing here. There is nothing called advertisement. There is nothing called any magic gimmicks. I am not a solution provider just in this spirituality. I am just following the right path. Okay, in the right path. I'm not deviating your attention from your religious path or any your caste, cult, whatever you have your background rituals. You can follow. That is your, the background, whatever you come from, wherever you come from. But understand to live God. Understand to live the truth wherever you go, wherever you born, wherever you reside on there in the on the planet Earth. Or if you travel to Mars, there is no other illusion, right? You cannot create another illusion. So that is the truth. Is universe wherever you feel, if you're capable of traveling, right? You have that machinery which can help you to travel. But in the ancient ages, they used to say that the rishis, they used to travel by means of their soul, the meditation tricks. Like they were meditating God, and then they just travel by means of meditation. So that was one idea of reaching God. Meditation is one of the technique which is also among many scriptures. The Vedanta scriptures, they have, whoever realized the truth, what is called I am God state, they may bring up some kind of literatures. So that also one of the media that to understand and realize God here. Okay, so God is only eternal, and He is the existence, and He is the only real, and there is no other form like anybody say. So even some people know that what they look at the physical picture of any god or demigod, they say or they feel that is God. That is a belief, right? In reality, that is again that you have to realize that God itself as I am God state. Okay, so we have many things to discuss. Let us go and continue with another heading called God, Man, and the God Man. So now the differentiating human in the form of human, that there are level of understanding, right? So here in this level of understanding, what is God and who is God, who is man, and who is God man. Okay, the journey. So let's deal with that now. The entire universe is God's shadow and belong to God, but God does not belong to the universe. God does not belong to the universe. See, this has to be realized. Okay, so if I am a member in one of the family, so I may belong to this family, but when I go out, I may be friend of somebody, but I am not belongs to that family. So here we differentiate mentally feeling or looking at your external outlook, or if you belongs to it, also refers to your language, your culture. Based on that, I belongs to this, I may not belongs to this. But in this case of God, the entire universe is God's shadow. It belongs to him. It is also that belongs to him. The entire universe belongs to him, and whatever the material what we observe and see and experience are all the shadows. Like even human body is a shadow of God. But we are not speaking God, we are just speaking like human. We are speaking of our own desires, our own thirsty, our own hungry. So the way we speak is like it is my own. But in this case, the entire universe belongs to God. So, but God does not belong to the universe. So, yeah, this is for sure. If I speak like this, people may not understand, and they may come up with how that could be, how that can be. It doesn't. God doesn't. If this everything is God's, then God doesn't belongs to this. Because why this statement they made, like God does not belongs to the universe, because this universe and the world have immortality. Like people who born here will die. Any material comes that may disappear one day. Any parts of like planetary movement, they may come and they disappear. But the God is not going to die. God has no end. So that is why God does not belongs to this universe. Yes, he has his own universe, but he does not belongs to this universe. What we see as a material around you, around me, with our eye. God's shadow comes out of God. So why this is God's shadow comes out of God means the real existence of God. He have a copy, like our human, whatever the amount of people that coming and they born on this planet or in the universe. He said the universe means this is not only one world universe, it is millions of worlds in this universe, in his universe. We don't have access to all that. We can't even touch that. We can't even touch the small the planets, what we see in our solar system. We cannot touch moon, we cannot touch sun. Like these are all very visibility, but they are visible, but there may be millions of other worlds we don't see, we can't experience those things, right? So the similarly here the shadow comes out of God. That is why the shadow comes out of God, undergoes infinite variations and goes back into God. So what is that mean? That infinite variations means it may change. Today it looks like sun. One day it is going to disappear. But scientists say that it has 600 million years of age, whatever. Like even we don't live for 600 million years. The human have a limited capacity, limited lifespan. They may die in 100 years, right? Maybe if they may live 200 years. I heard that the human they used to live for 3,000 years. So that all because nowadays, because in Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated that the universe in this world, all is corrupted, all is manipulated, and everything is because of the bad situation. The lifespan is dropping, and the health is dropping. Like health unhealthy, that creating the unhealthy because of the unhealthy food, unhealthy habituals, unhealthy thinking, unhealthy, all unhealthy. Because of that the lifespan is going back down. So once for example, one small example, that human born and die, that means when he born he comes here, says undergo infinite variations, means again it dies, body dies, different variations. Like in the species considered from the dust to animal. So there are evolution of consciousness. Meher Baba has also given in the God Speaks, we will read that. Evolution of consciousness starting from the dust to animal. So innumerable variations here. Innumerable species in each and every species, they have multiple variations. In this case, for example, one plant, suppose if you consider a grass plant, okay, it has millions of variations. When you look at the lion, have different variations in that also. That means anything which comes here and it goes, so that is the return back to God. God's shadow depends upon God. God does not depends upon his shadow. So if I said I am God, my shadow is again also followed me, behind me, or front or side. It all depends on how the image. But in the God is itself is invisible, it has no shadow. So in the beginning we said that God has no shadow. He has no shadow because he is absolute. He is just shunya. He is completely truth. God does not depend upon his shadow. So we human have the shadow dependency. Without God, the shadow cannot exist. So here this statement may confuse you. Don't get confused about without God, the shadow cannot exist. But God does not depend on shadows and his shadow. So these statements, why? Because God, without God, the shadows cannot be. So without God, we don't have life. Without God, we born and live for some time. So that is again the life itself has a soul in us, that is God, which is taken care of this. So without God in our body, so there is no shadow. Without the shadow, God does not exist. God was when the universe was not. This is very, in Srimad Bhagavatam also Sri Krishna stated that, the past life of Krishna, past life of Lord Krishna is completely rasa dance, what is called rasamaya, what is called, he used that as a spiritual concentration, not like, material concentration. In that case, God was when the universe was not. So what nowadays we say universe is in our vision, but it was not there when the God was there. God is when the universe is. Even you think of it, God is now, that means he was before universe, he was, and he is after universe also. God will be when the universe will not be. Even the universe disappears, God is there. So that is why it is called eternal. God is eternal because even the universe completely spoils. But if I die, that doesn't mean the whole universe dies. So this death again gives another life to people. So he may die, take another life. But the God will never die. And the universe will not be when the God will be when the universe will not be. Because God was even without the universe. Because he knows everything. Your own shadow belongs to you, but you need not to belong to your shadow. Here also it is stating our own existence. Your own shadow belongs to you. That means my shadow belongs to me, need not to belong to you, your shadow. So need not to belongs to your shadow. What is called? But you need not to belong to your shadow. So if I consider the shadow is real, so I am not belong to that shadow. Shadow, when I move, the shadow moves. Shadow does not move. So that means I does not belong to shadow. Okay, shadow does not belongs to me as a you did not. I does not belongs to shadow. Similar way, your shadow necessarily clings to you, but you unnecessarily cling to your shadow. Your shadow necessarily clings to you, right? So when I move, shadow comes with me, but unnecessarily cling to your shadows. But okay, but you unnecessarily cling to your shadow. So what is that means? So if I move, when I move, the shadow also moves with me. It sticks with me. There is no like we feel like a shadow is moving. I am moving with shadow. No, that is not real, right? So that is not correctly understandable. But this is really what shadow is. Your shadow, but shadow not necessarily will cling to your shadow. Without you, your shadow cannot exist. But without your shadow, you do exist. Sometimes when you come in the dark, there is no shadow of you. That means without you, there is no shadow. And shadow, but without your shadow, you do not exist. It is without your shadow, you do exist. Okay. So yeah, even if I put a lot of light around all around, your shadow disappears. That means without you, your shadow does not, but your shadow, without your shadow, you exist still. That is clearly mentioned. Why is going so deeper means because to understand the shadow of God. Shadow of God. God exists, but God does not belongs to this universe. Universe belongs to him, generally speaking. In all states and under all circumstances, whether you are dreams in sleep, dreaming the dream of life on the earth, dreaming the acute hell or heaven state after leaving the gross body, or dreaming the real dreams in the higher spiritual plane. Essentially, you remain the same. Essentially, you remain the same. So, one body, one soul. So, yesterday someone was asking about that, hell and heaven. So, if you're dreaming either way, if you are in hell or if you are in heaven, right? Or if you dream like in a deep sleep state, or if you any under these some circumstances, heaven or hell or gross body, or dreaming the real dreams in the higher spiritual planes, essentially on your essentially you remain the same, right? Even if you are a super guru in your dream, but when you awake you will be the same. In your dream you may be something experiencing in the heaven, like you are feeling enjoying in the heaven. When you wake up, that again you become the same thing. So that means wherever you are in the state, in any circumstances, you remain same, but God does not remain same here, right? You remain same. Everything and everyone represents God in one way or another, in some state of consciousness or another. But the God man, that avatar, Buddha, Christ, the Rasul, okay, represents God in every way, in everything and everywhere, in one and all of the state of consciousness, manifest on or latent. Hafiz, the man who become God realizes, says, Zaban o kare zaban, Zumala, Zumla beach, der beach est Hazar ban noun in Nukta Kardam Taki. What it means? The 1,000 times I have ascertained and found it to be true that the universe and the affair of the universe are totally nothing into nothing. So here the God realized souls also have this kind of responsibility. So in this God, man, avatar, Rasul, everybody is in the same as in the same state. God in one way or other way is one, some state conscious is, or in any other form it is also same. In one or the other states consciousness remains same, is latent, is in the consciousness. So if God in Buddha, that is a dream state. Again, God is come to the Buddha is a dream state. When he is in the God state, God is God. But in the same way, that is what we are dreaming itself is God. So that is a very deep understanding about the realization. So the realized man also said that here, thousands time he has realized a certain that all over the universe, but there was nothing into nothing. It's very hard to understand what is nothing here, because everything is comes from nothing. So God itself is same as that, he remains same even if we take the other body. The other body itself is, again we saw that as a dream. Similar way, the dream cannot be true. Dream is dream. When you wake up again, you become the same thing. So similarly, it has more details about that. So we will read about understanding the concept of God is eternal. God is eternal existence, and a God, man, and God man. So you understand the differentiation between the God, man, and God man. Right? God-man, finally, God-man, that is the Avatar or Buddha or Christ or Rasul, represents God in every way, in everything and everywhere, in one and all of the states of consciousness, manifest or latent. It might be manifested, like, it may be latent them, within them. So all is the same. So this is again, you have to understand the God state, man state, and God man state. So your Meher Baba is said to be God man, or the perfect man, or the perfect soul. So he is also called as Avatar, incarnation. Right? So they know the same path, they are coming on the same path, and they are on the same, always remain same. Even if a next incarnation comes, he may adjust the previous consciousness, and he will pull the different states of consciousness. People now, they corrupted, they ignored, right? They have to again remodulate, manipulate, and then make the people to understand where is God, what is God, who is God, God man, how, why these people are taken such a great movement in that consciousness. Okay, thank you so much. So I'm going to end today's live in few seconds. So please, guys, listen to my video every day, somewhat, and you can read, you can listen, join me. I made this as a public site, so please join me and subscribe more to my channel, and keep on sharing. If you have any questions, comments, I am a normal man that I live my life. I do this for my satisfaction. I do this for well-being for all the humanity, which is on any country, any country I'm talking about. I live in United States anyway. So further, I also created my Facebook live several times. I have more than 200 or 300, up to 300, I think, videos I created in two languages. So one in English and one in my mother tongue. So eventually, if a demand comes, I will add other languages to speak, live speak. I'll make video and then upload. And it is freely available on YouTube channel. Search for my name, Shantamurthy Hanumantarayappa. So that way you can watch and then subscribe, share. So if you guys have any confusion in my speech, so let me know. Please comment it and feedback when you are free. So thank you so much. I will stop today's live. We will back again tomorrow. Bye.